Well, welcome to this week's edition of Bolton in, all thanks to Palmerbet, of course. And I know the boys at Palmerbet do a magnificent job. And the form guru and the guru expert here is Greggy Eyes Kelson. And Eyes, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, Matty. Good. Looking forward to this week too. It's a huge, probably the biggest week within this Brisbane Carnival, isn't it? For mine, that Stradbroke Day is always a beauty. Been there a few times, Matty. Great place to get to out of Victoria this time of year too. But fine weather forecast, good track again, and sensational racing. Been big fields and great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I must admit, I reckon that Stradbroke is an absolute ripping race. We've got the JJ Atkins, of course, the Q22. Plenty to get through. And we got winners' eyes. That's the key. Jimmy the Bear last week, mate. Yeah. We love the Bear.
Hasn't the Bear been good to us?
Oh, the Bear.
I tell you what, Matty, we're a bit stiff too. I mean, there's always hard luck stories in racing, I know, but my best last week, and it was a good price, but shooting for gold.
And punted off the map, Eyes.
And didn't just miss the start. It missed the start by 5.
Yeah. And
for it to finish, it was still last at the 400. And, of course, when you back something each way, they rattle home and run fourth, don't they, Matt? But but it was a big – so I don't think he's lost any admirers. He's proven he can do it in that class.
At that level,
yeah. He's just got to behave a bit better, I think.
Yeah, now what about the Queensland Oaks, of course, too, last week, guys? Gypsy Goddess, there was a few question marks. Obviously, the barrier was the big one, but absolutely blew them away.
Yeah, look, all praise to her, really, Matty. I mean, there were some good runs behind her, but I don't think you can take anything away from Gypsy Goddess. As we said last week, she can do it in any type of going. She came off running second in the ATC Oaks on a heavy 10 last month, and then she did that last week. At the 800, she was 16th, so effectively third last, Matty. At the 400, she was still midfield, running 8th. And the way she found the line over the 2400, she's now unbeaten in 3 goes at Eagle Farm. She's won 6 from 9. She's a good mare. She might be a mare that can, or filly mare that can sort of really weigh up to Melbourne Cup chances, because it just had Stayer written all over as well. So she was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, been a bit going on during the week too. Racing New South Wales, of course, Racing Victoria, prize money's been up to a lot of races and stuff. One of the other big talking points, I suppose, the Australian Cup moving to March 25. So that's a 2-3 week kind of change. It used to always be that long weekend in March.
Yep.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah. First, can we just, Matty, rip back to the Oaks just for a moment, because there was some good runs around Gypsy Goddess. Barbara Ada tried her heart out, as she always does.
Deserves to win one.
Lavilli, who ran third, was solid. I thought Belle Savoir, it was another horse that just got too far out of its ground. It was running third last at the 400, got home to run into 5th, and there was a failure or two. I think Aravine dropped out, just might be a better horse with a bit of sting out of the ground. And probably 2,400 metres might be a stretch on what we saw last week. But so I just wanted to talk about those runs. Now, back to where you were. It's an interesting one, Matty, because there's no doubt that date now. See, the Australian Cup used to be run in March, but I think it was the Labor Day weekend, so it was a bit earlier in March.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see why it's been shifted back to the 25th, because we've got the All-Star Mile, which is either a week or a fortnight before. It might even be only a week before. So I think Victoria are looking after their own, and they're looking for a race that the All-Star Mile horses, if they're going to track them here, they might just keep them here and run into the 2,000-metre Australian Cup. But you're going to clash with the Vinery, which is over 2,000 metres in Sydney on the same day.
Yeah.
And the Tancred, of course, which is 2,400 metres in Sydney. And the thing about those is they're both Group 1s versus, you know what I mean, an All-Star Mile that's prestigious race and, more importantly, big prize money, but up against Group 1s. And then those races, Matty, will run into the Ranvet and the George Ryder, which will actually be Australian Cup Day. So there's going to be a clash. But having said that, well, it's plain as the nose on your face, I suppose. Each state is purely looking after their own now, the same as these prize money things we're going to talk about.
And this tit-for-tat kind of stuff, Oz. What's your thoughts? Come on.
I don't think there's a real winner in anywhere there. You know what I mean? I guess they throw more and more money into like an Everest or a Golden Eagle or whatever that one's called, Matty. But it still doesn't beat tradition, does it? It doesn't beat a Caulfield Cup or a Melbourne Cup or a Stradbroke Handicap, whatever. It doesn't beat tradition, does it? And I think there's got to be a cap on how much money ultimately you throw at the top end. I think the real thing is it's got to be bolstered from the bottom end up, doesn't it, racing?
Well, that's what I want to ask. I mean, we may as well get on to the fair dinkum stakes, and this was going to be the topic of discussion. You know, Victoria v New South Wales. Everybody talks about it. Lights up social media. They're constantly digging here, digging there. You know, like, are we focusing too much on the top end and not focusing enough on the bottom end, guys? It's the lifeblood of the sport still, isn't it?
Yeah, and each state seems to be reactive as well. Like not long after the announcement of the big race prize money boost in New South Wales, out comes Victoria Racing to bolster up not bottom end races, but the likes of Bendigo Cups and, you know, some of those races that are, you know, at the mid level, which is fantastic. But what I'm talking about, Matty, is for the overall strength, and a bit like the argument about the AFL not putting back enough into grassroots, we've got to capture owners early. We've got to make that maiden, for example, worth twice as much. The same as it bolstered the hurdle racing by bumping that maiden prize money up, because you'll get owners involved, even at grassroots level, that can get a return the moment they win a race. And guess what, Matty? If they win a race, that money goes straight back into another horse, or they go again.
That's exactly
and I know it because I've lived it and still living it.
Yeah.
So it's the bottom end, because if we get to the top end, mate, if we asked you, you know, your horse can win a Group 1 and it's a Goodwood Handicap or any other race, and it's worth $500,000 or it's worth $1 million or it's worth $5 million, to you, Matty, as a racing grassrootser, so to speak, it doesn't matter, does it? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's for me. It's the thrill. It's the being there, racing with friends, and all.
But
that
I guess what I'm saying
I must say, always,
we don't all get the opportunity to be racing in the Group 1s.
Yeah,
if we're lucky enough, fair enough. But we've got to start it out where we do get the opportunity, and that's in maidens, and not just maidens, but even 58, 64s. You know, the lower end of the scale.
And I tell you what, I did light up, or my eyes lit up, when I did see the Manikato Stakes going from 1 million to 2 million, because I did.
It's good when you got personal interest.
It was one of the races that was just bandied around by Dean Lester. So who knows? But listen, watch this space. Let's have a look at the future focus for this week. It's going to be the Tats Tiara market on Trivier at $4.50. Snap Dancer at $5 from the Kirimar David Eustace stable. Out of Visto at $6. September Run from the Chris Waller. Nudge Matey, $9. Isotope at $10. Away Game at $11. And Nudge at $11. I tell you what, Snap Dancer could not have been any more impressive over at Adelaide. And Big Jonathan Brown, of course, former Brisbane Lions superstar, has got a share in Snap Dancer eyes. Yeah,
it was really impressive. It's funny though, Adelaide form often doesn't stack up anywhere else. Like Snap Dancer was incredible, just went straight to the front, gave nothing else a chance. Firstly, Matty, run a pen through the favourite you gave me in Trivier, because she's gone back home to New Zealand and would be currently in the spelling paddock. So I don't think we're seeing in Trivier. Naj Marty runs in the Dane Ripper on Saturday.
Now, Ice, did you see? I backed it last night. Got out to $10 2 weeks ago. That was one of the best wins I've seen. It was explosive.
She's flying.
Absolutely flying. Yeah. And I think it's $3.20 or $3.40 in the final event on Saturday.
That's right. And she's won her last couple. So, and there's no reason, I'm not saying she won't go to the Tattersall's Tiara, but let's watch what she does on, because I don't think you're going to get a worse price, Matty, to be honest.
But seriously, if $9 here, I would imagine it's got to be hard to beat on Saturday.
Yeah, well, maybe it can shorten up. I'm just not sure, but we've got to watch what she does there.
Yeah.
Isotope, of course, runs in the Stradbroke on Saturday. So again, maybe watch and see, because what price are they betting Isotope?
$10.
$10. Well, if you like him, I suppose, but I'd sooner see what he did Saturday. Snap Dancer, as I said, bolted in the Sangster. So if you like, go for it. September Run okay in the Kingston Smith on Saturday too, behind Apache Chase. So as long as the tempo was on, September Run's always a chance. And Anavisto, of course, ran really well. Now, that was a heavy 10 in the Queen of the Turf at Randwick a month ago. But she'll go on any going and will freshen up nicely. So, again, I wouldn't be frightened of Anavisto. So, still a host of chances, Matty. And maybe Nash Marty is the one that's value. It'll shorten up a bit with that favourite out of the market, of course, that we just took out. But just the same, if she comes out and blows them away against Saturday, which is quite possible, maybe if you can get your $7 or $8 about the futures, go for it.
Absolutely. Right, let's have a look at this week's key races, of course, and there are some absolute crackers. And we're going to start with the Q22 eyes. Our favourite is Hutor at $3, Maximal at $6, Hopeful at $8, Numerian at $12, The Chosen One $13, Great House at $13, La Donde V at $15. That's all thanks to the boys at Palmer Bet. I'll tell you what, I two horses really light me up here, Eyes.
I know one of them.
Hudor's, I reckon, going to be very, very hard to beat because I reckon back on top of the deck is going to be even better again. But La Donde V, first up, it beat a horse that I know myself and you like as a horse called Tuvalu. And to do what it done first up for the Kiramar David Eustace team. And then I just thought to take it straight up here for a race like this, obviously says how well this horse is going.
Yeah, absolutely. Matty, often with a horse like with a horse like La Donde V, when you're so good first up, and he was sensational, I reckon he surprised the camp themselves. Sometimes you can then be flat second up. I'm not saying that will happen. They're master trainers, and anything over a trip, you would think 2,200 metres only suits better, but that's the only question mark for me. You've got to travel to another state. Can that edge just be going off a little bit going in second up? I kept coming back, Matty, to the two that fought out the Dooman Cup, Wheator and Maximal. Both came from sort of three pairs back at the 400. Both found the line really strongly. And I again, from there, I came back to the favourite, Wheator, simply because, Matty, he's won 6 from 15, whereas Maximal's only won one race.
Yeah.
So, I just thought he's a winner, and I just couldn't maybe go past him. Great House ran home really strongly in the Dooman Cup. So if you wanted one that's a little bit better price, and James McDonald goes on, he's the one that could upset him, I reckon. But as I said, I kept coming back to Wheator and Maximal, but I thought Wheator, the favourite, one to beat. And I certainly respect La Donde V, because if he shows up like he did at Flemington, he'll run you a race for sure.
I just thought 3 starts.
Well, he's a price too.
Well, four starts on the good track for the fave, Wheator. 3 wins. You know, 1 at the track, 1 win. And as you said, Ice, 15 starts, 6 wins. Might be just a very, very nice horse. So I'm going to play there, and I'm going to have a little each way play on La Donde V. Well,
that can be your little saver, can't each way, and
at a price.
Yeah, like I said, I can't resist the favourite. Not a price I want to launch into, but I just don't know what beats him.
And Group 1, Johnny, of course, just announced during the week he's going to Ireland. He hasn't been there for a couple of years with COVID, so this will be his last race meeting, jumping on the big bird and getting back to his home country. He's had a sensational season, and this might be his little swan song.
Is the Australian dollar worth more in Ireland?
It'd be worth
he'd have plenty to spend if it
Mate,
is.
He doesn't like spending it, Johnny. Don't worry. He's very scrupulous.
He might be sponsored back home
with the cash. The only bloke to fly his missus up to the Gold Coast Magic Millions. He flown first class, and she was back in cattle class.
Well, he's doing the riding.
Exactly. No, we love Johnny. Don't worry about that. He's an absolute superstar. Hey, what about the JJ Atkins, of course? So this over 1,600 metres. The Palmer Bet market, Sharp and Smart at $4.20. Political Debate at $4.60. She's a Belter at $5. Owen County at $13. Spaz out at 14, and Lethal Thoughts at 15. I'm keen as mustard on one here, Eyes, and it is the favourite, Sharp and Smart.
Well, it is the favourite. I'm following you in, Matty. The markets went up the other way around, and I thought it was wrong, because Sharp and Smart versus Political Debate last time, he just ran home really, really strongly to just miss behind Political Debate. The step up to the mile is perfect, because he won the Champagne in New Zealand the start before at the trip. He just doesn't have an X next to his form. He's just a good horse. She's a Belter was impressive here in the size produce 2 weeks ago, attacking the line. I just like horses that run through the line, and that's what Sharp and Smart and also She's a Belter did. So they're my top two. Political debate, because he'll be around the mark, Matty. He sits up on the speed and he'll
Chris
run your
Waller
race.
polish, yep.
And if there's one there that can, again, tip them all out, Matty, this beautifully bred colt of Kieran Maher and David Eustace, Lethal Thoughts. It's drawn a wide gate, but I reckon it'll find the front here. Matty from out there, I reckon it'll push across and might lead him up. And he could be something special too. I've heard Kieran Maher say that he's a beautiful moving horse and he'd know what that's all about. So if there's one to blow him out, it's Lethal Thoughts. But I was actually with Sharp and Smart as well, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Sharp and Smart. And nice little price, Lethal Thoughts at $15. All thanks to the boys at Palmerbet. What about the Stradbroke? I reckon this is an absolute, it's a cracking race. 11.11, $5.50. This horse has been absolutely smacked in the last week. Atkins at $6, Apache Chase at $9.50, Alligator Blood, sensational last start at $11, Isotope at $11, Rothfire at $16. Then we get out to Socks are gone at a bit of a price. But I tell you what, I was on 11.11 last start eyes at a big price, 12-1 for the Stradbroke. It has been absolutely crunched this week, and I'm not moving. I'm not moving camps. I'm going to stick with the Huey Bowman train this Saturday.
Yeah, and I know you've said it all the way through too, Matty. He's just a good horse, but Matty, I might have, and I've spoken to you about this. I might have found one here that I'm going to back each way at a big price.
This is huge.
Can you tell me the price of Emerald Kingdom there with Palmerbet? Because I'm talking about race.
Well, we're currently sitting at about $34.
Yeah, that's all right. Number 7. And I'll tell you why. He's got a 40% winning strike rate. He's got recent form around Apache Chase and Soxagon.
Yep.
Who are both much shorter in the market than he is.
Only beaten a couple of lengths, yep.
Correct. Track and distance, he's 5 goes to Eagle Farm for 2 wins and 2 placings. He's drawn to either lead or box seat, so he can either take it up if it's not too frantic, or he can tuck right in behind. I just reckon it's good shopping at the price, Emerald Kingdom, because I reckon he can run your race. He's drawn Barrier 2, Karen McAvoy. You'll have sillier bets in your life, mate. So each way for me, Emerald Kingdom.
Chuck it in the multis.
Yeah, absolutely. 11-11, your tip looks ready to win, no doubt about that. Loved how he found the line in the Kingston Smith, and I've spoken about, love horses running through the line. Well, that's what he does. Hugh Bowman, gate 5, ticks a lot of boxes. Ayrton can still win, Matty. Drawn a terrible gate, so I can see why he's drifted a little bit in the market, but he's probably still the best horse in the race.
Yep.
Overall, or at least potentially. Very sticky gate for Jamie Carr, but look, if he can have an ounce of luck, he's just a good horse.
Yeah.
And Apache Chase, he's getting out in the market, but he's just done nothing wrong, mate. He's going to be on speed. He's in form, and geez, hard to get past.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Emerald Kingdom for me each way at a big price.
Right, beautiful, mate. What's your best bet at Eagle Farm on the weekend?
Best bet at Eagle Farm, mate. I probably kept coming back to Wheator. As I said, it was a race where I said I didn't like the price, but I can't find anything to beat him. And the one that you alluded to, Nash Marty, in the last, I reckon he'll anchor a few quaddies, and he's certainly going to be, or she's going to be pretty hard to beat as well. So they're the couple. No great price. Maybe a little all up. Wheator into Nash Marty might be the way to go.
Right. I'm going to go Sharp and Smart as my best for the day. And as I said, I backed 11-11 a couple of weeks ago at a nice little price for the Stradbroke. So I'll just let that ride, let that run around. It's a tough race, the Stradbroke, to win.
It is a great field. There's no doubt about that.
Now, what about Sandown, mate? That is the main Melbourne meeting on Saturday. Surely you've plucked one out for us there, big fella.
I reckon I've plucked 2 out, Matty, but we only need one, of course. Well, Ashford Street in race 2,
yep,
he's just a winning machine.
Yep.
And the track's currently rated a heavy 9. I think that's only even more in his favour. And what I've liked about him as a horse, he's starting to creep up a little bit in the race, in the weights now. He's had 17 goes and he's been in the money 12 times. Don't think he's run a bad race.
Yep.
Anything in that 1,000 to 1,100 metre range is in his sweet spot. And what he's done, what he's been able to do as he's developed is not just be a one-dimensional have to lead. I loved how he tucked in behind him and took the trail last time. If they want to run along, he'll probably win again, Ashford Street, I reckon, Matty.
Love it.
And we go to the last, and De Graves. Wet track, 1,800. First up, that's right in his wheelhouse, especially the wet track.
Yep.
He's been down here at Warrnambool with the Wild Stable, so I know he's going to be handed back over, hard, fit, and ready to run 1,800 on a heavy track, and I reckon that's what they've aimed at first up here.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So a couple at Melbourne, Ashford Street in race 2, De Graves in race number 9. My best in Melbourne eyes, I'm going with race 6, number 3, Gate Crash from the Paddy Payne yard. Won 4 from 7, been placed the 3 other times. So has not been out of the placings in its career. And I just reckon the further the better. Won very, very convincingly last start at Sandown, and just stormed through the line. And I reckon the extra 300 metres is going to be right up its alley. I reckon the wet track's going to be no concern. Billy Egan and Paddy Payne combining, and I reckon we'll get the job done. And I'm going to give one on Friday. If this goes out before Friday, if it doesn't,
it's already won for you.
It's already won for us. But a triple missile in the Golden Topaz up at Swan Hill.
It's a good little race too.
It's a cracking race. It's a cracking race. But I just thought its form was as good as anything. I just thought it got that little bit of Lindsay Smith polish. Nice run on the Wangoon first up. Yeah. Went to town, won well last start. That form stacked up. I reckon it'll get the job done.
Yeah,
again.
And you're going to get almost each way. Yeah. I still think front page, if he can bounce back's a danger. But
big spruik on the horse, isn't it?
But that Wangoon form, it has just continued to stack up, hasn't it? So, but hard fit horses are what you're going to want, certainly in Melbourne on Saturday with that wet track.
Absolutely. It's all thanks to Palmerbet, of course. Look at the hats. Look at the shirts. Gamble responsibly, of course. Do it in a fun way, and never exceed your limits. Just do it reasonably and responsibly. That's all we ask. Download the app, get involved, guys. It's very, very simple, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a great app to use, user-friendly, so to speak. And you can set yourself limits too, Matty. We spoke about gambling responsibly. Everybody wants you to do that, but you can have a bit of fun doing it as well. And hopefully we've steered one or two your way, particularly a couple there we've tipped at a nice price, Matty.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a great weekend's racing, of course. Stradbroke Handicap Day up at Eagle Farm on the weekend. It is going to be sensational. Enjoy it, punt, have a fun, and hopefully you get plenty of winners.
Thank you.